everybody and welcome back to a new video on my channel. My name is Zoe, I'm 23, I live in the New York City area, and today I'm going to be resetting for December. How is it the last month of 2023? I have no idea, but here we are, and this is in fact my absolute favorite month of the year, probably. Second only to October because my birthday is in October. But this even may be better than that. I just put all of my Christmas decorations up yesterday, so I'm feeling like super festive. In fact, let me just like show you the area a little bit really quickly. You guys, I'm fully so obsessed with this Christmas tree. I wanted a tall tree, but I was worried because I was like, well, if I get a tall tree, they're always so like big around the bottom. So I got this like skinny one. And I think it just fits so perfectly. I also got $100 off, so this was only $40 from Michael's because they were having their like 70% off for Black Friday still when I got it. And it just looks so cute, and then all of the ornaments were half off too, and I got so most of this I got from Michael's. I think I got the tinsel and the tree topper from Walmart because it was really cheap there. In today's video, I'm going to be going through all of the things I do every single month in my resets. If you guys have watched any of my other ones, it's going to be really similar to all of those. We're going to talk about my goals for the next month, review my goals from the previous month. We're going to talk about books. I'm going to go through my budget, and then we're going to reflect on the past month and fun things that happened and some of my favorite products as well from the past month. So let's go ahead and just get started with goals. Gotta pull out the old iPad so I can look at all of my goals. So I'm going to start by looking back on the previous month's goals and what I accomplished and what I didn't accomplish. So I'm going to start with my top 3 priorities. I always set 3 priorities for the month, which aren't necessarily goals. They might be, but they're kind of more just like things I want to remember throughout the month. So for November, that was YouTube consistency, keeping in contact with friends, and trying out new clubs at work. I would say I really succeeded with the YouTube consistency. I will talk about this a little bit more in a bit, but I think that's something I want to improve on is now I've got the consistency down, I really want to work on kind of getting ahead with YouTube so I don't feel like I'm doing it at the last minute, because that happened a couple of times this month, and it just would be nice if I'd already kind of been set up and ready to go. Keeping in contact with friends, I think that I did a decent job of this. I think that I could always be better, but I had some fun days, and like there were a few weekends where I was all by myself and I made sure to like reach out to somebody and be like, hey, like, do you want to hang out? That kind of thing. Called a few of my friends. So yeah, that was good. And then trying out new clubs at work. I don't think I did this as much as I wanted to. Basically at my job, we have just like, you know, like employee groups that you can join. And so I kind of wanted to get more involved in one of those or a couple of those. And I didn't necessarily do that as much as I wanted. I did try. There are a couple factors that went into that I'm not going to go into, but I'll say like a 65% on that. As for my actual goals that I set for this month, I had 2 personal goals. The first was try 1 new recipe each week, and the second was stretch 4 times a week. I did not succeed on the trying a new recipe every week, but that happens, life happens. I honestly just didn't have the time or the energy. Oh well. Stretch 4 times a week. I think when I set this goal, I was picturing myself like stretching like in the morning or in the evening, kind of a separate thing from my exercise. But what I actually wound up doing is every time I exercise, I would always put like 15 to 30 minutes aside at the end to stretch. So I would say that I actually did accomplish that. Then I had a couple of business goals. The first was publish 1 video per week, which I definitely did. So if you haven't seen all my videos from the past month, make sure to go check those out. I wanted to publish 1 short a week. I actually only published 1 short this month. But again, it happens. I wasn't feeling like super inspired on the short form content front this month, but I am feeling it a little bit more now. So hopefully in December I can do some more of those. And then the other thing I wanted to do was experiment with TikTok and Reels, which like I said, I didn't really do. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood for it. So, and then we can look at my statistics. I am so happy with these statistics. Honestly, you guys, these are amazing. For YouTube, for followers/subscribers, I started off with 725 and I have 835, so there's 100 new people around, so hello, that's amazing. Welcome, I hope you enjoy. I did 4 videos, 5 if I can get this one up before December, which fingers crossed I do. I did 1 shorts and reels. I got about 5,000 views, which was exciting, and 300 watch hours, which is probably more than I've ever gotten ever in a month. So I feel really good, and I really feel like I'm starting to grow my channel the way that I want to, so that's really exciting. Next is to kind of bring in Instagram and TikTok with that, because I really do enjoy content creation and I want to be more in it, and that just means I have to like put in the effort, you know? So Instagram, I started with 213 followers and I have 215, which I believe I also got 2 followers last month, so we're growing. 4 people in the past 2 months. Hold up. No, actually, anybody who follows me, I very, very much appreciate it. I only did 1 post. I did 2 reels. Yeah, so I'm kind of, that's why. No, there's no growth. TikTok, I went from 29 followers to 34, and I just did 3 posts. Again, something I want to like up in the next month or so. Okay, so now moving on to my December goals. Before I get into that though, like, something that I do want to preface is this is the holiday season. I feel like the most important thing that you can do this time of the year is to just enjoy the people that you're around, take advantage of opportunities to hang out with the people that you love. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to be setting crazy goals, because we all know that January is coming, and while I am a firm believer that you do not need to wait for January 1st to set yourself some goals, I also think that it is a great time to reset, because just the nature of the way that the year goes is January, February, March, like that first half of the year, I feel like just isn't as hectic as the second half of the year, in my opinion. So I do think the beginning of the year gives a really good opportunity to start, but you can always start whenever. But I also just think you need to give yourself grace, especially this time of year. That being said, I do have a few little goals because I am feeling quite motivated right now in various aspects of my life. I just love Christmas so much, and one of my big goals at the minute, like I said, is growing my content, and I really want to do that with Christmas stuff, and now's the time to do that. So a lot of my goals kind of have to do with that. So let's start with my top 3 priorities. Number 1, enjoy the holidays. Like I just said, it's a very important time of year. It's my favorite time of year. I want to make sure I'm enjoying myself. Number 2 is YouTube consistency. And number 3 is 25 days of TikTok. I don't know if I can do that. We'll see. I do have it all planned out. Like, I have lots of ideas. I'm feeling really motivated. I think that what's holding me back right now is fear of other people and fear of people judging me, because I do have like people I actually know following me on TikTok, and I'm worried that they can show up on other people's For You pages and stuff, because I have people I know showing up on mine all the time, and so I'm just a little bit like, oh gosh. But I really want to, like, I think it'll be really fun, so I just need to be confident in what I'm creating and just go for it. I do have a few personal and business goals as well. So my first personal goal is I want to open a high yield savings account, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about money in the next few months on my channel. I have some ideas of things that I want to talk about, finances, so stay tuned for that. Another thing that I want to focus on is I want to keep on doing early morning workouts and getting up early before work. I have done a little bit of both. I have gotten up 15 minutes before I need to leave, and I've gotten up 2 hours before I need to leave, and I just feel like by working out in the morning, I get so much more time in my day, because although I do feel like I'm very much an evening person, I also really like to wind down in the evening. So I'm gonna start winding down at 9 o'clock, whether I got up at 7 o'clock or if I got up at 5 o'clock. And I'm not saying I am getting up at 5 o'clock. Like, I'm thinking more of like a 6:30, but that still like happens for me at that same time. So in my head, I'm getting more time in my day by getting up earlier, especially if I work out in the morning. I get so much time in the evening to just relax and to really work on like content and that kind of thing. So I really want to keep on doing that, because I know that it is really good for me, and although I would love to sleep in the morning, I do just feel better whenever I get up and I work out in the morning. My last goal is I want to go for a run. I randomly did a run whenever I was home over Thanksgiving, and I ran like 4 miles. And I felt really good afterwards, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want to try running again. And it's been a while since I really ran, but I haven't really found a place around where I moved to that I really like. So that's why I put go for a run, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a place at this time, because it's still dark outside whenever I get up in the morning and when I get home from work. And so I don't know how comfortable I really feel, and I don't like running on a treadmill. So I put go for a run because I might just wait and I'll do it whenever I'm home again. But ideally what I would like to do is find somewhere to run around where I am. Then I have my business goals. First of all, I want to publish 1 video a week. That's the same goal as last month, but I also want to publish 2 extra videos at least. I originally thought maybe I put that I wanted to post 2 videos a week, but I just think that that's a little outside of what I am capable of at the minute. So I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic and just do 2 extra videos. I want to publish 1 short a week. I'm keeping that goal. And I think that I can because I want to do the 25 days of TikTok or Vlogmas. I don't know what it's called on there. In my head, I've been calling it 25 days of TikTok. So I think it'll be easy because I can just like reuse that. And then I also want to do 4 in-feed posts for Instagram, just upping the numbers a little bit. I feel like I work better whenever I see numbers that I need to do. So we're going to try our very best. The next little segment here, I'm going to be talking about books. I haven't done a reading segment in one of these resets in a while because I just hadn't been reading that much. But I did read 3 books this month, and so I'm going to talk to you guys about them. The first book that I read is actually more of a book that I finished. It's a book that I've been reading for so long. I've read it for like a month and a half. It just took me forever to get through. And that was Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. I was actually rereading this, which I think is why it took me so long to get through, because I just wasn't like super excited about it. I would still say it's 4 stars. I think I gave it 4 stars the first time I read it. I'm giving it 4 stars again. It is an emotional roller coaster, this book. If you've read any of Cassandra Clare's writing, you know that that's always the case. 4 stars primarily for the last like 150 pages, because once I hit that, I couldn't stop. Like, even though I was rereading it, once I finally got to 150 pages left, I was like zooming. It's so good. It's so fast-paced at the end. And the whole reason that I was rereading this was because I have the 3rd book and I couldn't remember what happened in the 1st and 2nd book, so I reread them, and now I'm finally excited to be able to read the 3rd book pretty soon. The 2nd book that I read this month was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I was not expecting to enjoy this book as much as I did. I actually gave it 5 stars, and it's kind of a dystopian book, so it's a cross between maybe like Red Queen, The Hunger Games, and Divergent. And it was just so fast paced. It just had me wondering what was going to happen next. It really just like, I just kept wanting to read it, and I just feel like that's a sign of a good book for me. It was also really emotional. Like, I didn't cry, but I was pretty darn sad in a lot of parts of this book. And it's just a really interesting commentary, I think, as well, on the way that society is run and what gives people power. And so, yeah, I can't wait to read the rest of this series. The final book that I read this month, finally, is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I have been wanting to read this book for such a long time. Obviously, it's super hyped on the internet. I would be very surprised if you haven't heard of this book. The sequel actually just came out, and I cannot wait to read that. But I gave this book 5 stars. I do think that it lived up to the hype. I just was so intrigued by all the characters. Like, I wanted to know more the whole time. Like, I loved the dragon aspect and the fantasy that was in it. I won't lie and say that this is like a masterpiece of writing. Like, sometimes the writing did feel a little bit immature, in my opinion. Like, not the content, the writing style itself. But it was fine. Like, it just kind of read like a movie at parts, and I was like, I don't know that I want to be reading a movie, but like I said, it was good. That is my only complaint. I understand why the hype is. It's very similar to Sarah J. Maas's books, which I think is something that people like. Like, it definitely scratched the same itch that those books did. Like, it is a little bit spicy, on the spicy side, so just be aware if you're reading that. Anyway, I did really enjoy it, and I can't wait to read the next one. Next, we're gonna go through my budget. So we're gonna start by looking at November's budget, and then I actually made a lot of changes, not a lot. I made some adjustments and things with my spreadsheet, and so something really exciting is probably coming very soon in terms of the spreadsheet that I use, so make sure to stay tuned about that. Let's look at the damage from November. I spent a lot of money, more than I probably really kind of wanted to, but that's okay, it happens. I had budgeted for my expenses to spend about $1,340, and I wound up spending more like $1,700. However, I'm not that upset about this. For one thing, a couple of my bills were a lot lower than I expected them to be, because I'm like past the point now where I've like paid I don't even know what you call it, like the deposit. I didn't even know. There was like a surcharge for the first like few months that I was paying those bills, and I'm past that point now. So now I'm literally only paying for what I use, which isn't a lot, but I didn't realize that that was happening this month. So I budgeted a lot more than I needed to, and so I had about $100 there that I could spend. And in addition to that, I kind of made a mistake last month and didn't account for something that I was getting paid back for. So now girl math, I have more money, even though like I wouldn't recommend using girl math when doing your budgets. It just happened to work out that way, and I'm using it to justify the fact that I spent a lot more money than I meant to. But also with girl math, I am putting more money into my savings than I originally hoped to. I originally wanted to put $1,150 into savings, but I'm putting $1,300 into savings. So I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, I will put my totals up on the screen for like my expenses spending and how much I put into my sinking funds if you want to read through those. I know I go through that the same like every month, and so I'm not going to go super in detail this month. Okay, so now moving on to December. Most of my budget is going to stay pretty much the same. I will be home for a week in December, but I'm kind of not really changing anything because I find that even whenever I am home, things come up and change, and I am still spending money, so whatever. But if I happen to not spend all of this, then that will also be lovely. So I'll go ahead and put this on the side of the screen. I did take out a couple of the categories that I've been tracking. I had like gifts, vacation, and a couple others I think that I took out because I have them in sinking funds, and so anytime that I would take out money from them, I'm just going to take it straight out of the sinking funds. I don't need an expense category for that. I am putting $950 straight into savings immediately, taking that out of anything that I want to spend. In my head, it's already gone. Always good to pay yourself first. So that is basically it for my December budget. Like I said, there's going to be more information about some of this budgeting stuff coming very, very soon. So if you want to hear more about that, then make sure to subscribe. So next, it is time for me to set up my bullet journal. So I'm gonna set you up here and you can go ahead and watch me as I do that. I'll put on some cute little Christmas music in the background. I am still loving using my bullet journal. I think that it's really just helping me to stay accountable. I love having my brain dump every single week. Whenever I do my weekly spread, I always have like a brain dump side, and I just put in literally that, like anything that I can think of. I'm pulling in a few stickers this week. I know I talked about it recently in another video that I'm trying to go pretty minimal in terms of like decorating this bullet journal. However, I think that stickers are easy to include, and so I'm just gonna add a couple little stickers to my spread just to add a little bit more pizzazz. So the next part of the video is one of my favorite bits. This just gives me a chance to reflect on the past month and different memories that I've made and just kind of document those in my own special way. So honestly, this month went by so quickly, and when I sat down to do this, I was like, what did I even do this month? Then I was looking and I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually kind of a lot. So right at the start of the month, I went into the city for work. I don't go in all the time. My office actually isn't in New York City. So sometimes I get to go in, and it's always really fun whenever I do, because I met up with some friends afterwards. We did like a happy hour and went to this ping pong bar, which is really, really cool, and I had just the best time. I also went back to Villanova as per usual. You probably heard me talking about this before, but my boyfriend still goes there, so I went back to visit him, and we went on this really lovely date to a pumpkin patch and like a little like fall village thing, and we did like a corn maze and we did a hayride, and it was just lovely. Like, it just felt so like special and fall, and it was great to just hang out with him for the day. I also went to IKEA this month, and that is a huge deal because I finally bought this lamp that I've had my eye on for months that I wanted, and I actually love how it looks in my apartment. So I'll insert another little clip here just to give it its moment of glory, because I just think it's so unique and adds such like a sense of personality to my apartment. And then another highlight is I went home this month. I went and hung out with my family over Thanksgiving. I was home for about a week and a half, which was lovely. We went to a really yummy Indian place one night, and it was like a fancy Indian, and I tried buffalo for the first time, and it was actually so yummy the way that they prepared it. We did our special Thanksgiving. We don't really celebrate it a lot because my family's English, and so it's not necessarily like a huge holiday for us, but we have been in the States long enough that we do our own little version of it. And so we always make a roast lamb and have like a traditional English Sunday roast dinner basically, but it's always really nice, and we always play games afterwards, which was lovely. And we put up our Christmas decorations. I put up my Christmas decorations at home, and then I came here and I put up my Christmas decorations here, and there's just nothing better than the first night that you have your Christmas decorations. Like last night after I put this tree up, I literally was like in heaven. I like had a candle going, I have all the lights everywhere, so I just felt so good. I also went Black Friday shopping with my brother and just like regular shopping with my mom, and I actually helped my mom out with a craft fair that she was part of, so it was great to just be able to do those nice little family things that I don't usually get to do since I am pretty far away from home. So for the last portion of this video, I'm going to be talking through some of my favorite things from this past month. So first of all is my Hatch alarm clock. I splurged, I got a Hatch. I've seen it everywhere, and it is so amazing, you guys. Like, it has actually completely transformed my routines. I have never in my life been capable of getting up as early as I have recently been able to get up. And not only that, it encourages me to go to sleep because you can set a nighttime routine in addition to like a morning routine. And I feel like honestly, the nighttime routine is so much more helpful than I was expecting it to be. I knew that that was like a thing, but that's not why I bought the clock. But I just feel like that is what is making me be able to get up in the morning. I use it as like a little sound machine. I use it as a bedside light to read. I have a timer on it, so when the light changes, I have to stop reading, which is good. If you're a reader, you understand. I also wanted to talk through some of my music favorites from this past month. I always make a new playlist every month of like songs that I'm just trying to like listen to more. Noah Kahan, I don't know how to say his name, but I have been loving his music recently. I think Stick Season is like it went viral on TikTok, but I actually really like his Busy Head album. It is just, I don't know, it just hits really well. I love the script. And so I always pull up some of their old music from my playlists. This month, a song that I've really been listening to a lot is Talk You Down. And I don't know, it's just, I love like emotional music. So if somebody's depressed in the song, I'm probably gonna listen to it and really enjoy it. I don't know what that says about me. James Blunt's new album is also really good. It's called Who We Used to Be. That one is a real downer though. Like, it's very heavy, not downer, it's just very heavy. And has a lot of very mature themes in it. But I love the song Last Dance on that album. It's really good. Is It Over Now by Taylor Swift. Great song. And also another old song, but another one that I've just been listening to a lot recently is Almost Sweet Music by Hozier. Great song. I really want to go see Hozier. I think that would be so much fun. My final favorite from this month that I've been loving is my Nintendo Switch. I actually got Hogwarts Legacy for my Switch this month. It finally came out. This is literally the reason why I got a Switch. I think I talked about loving Hogwarts Legacy in another reset video a while ago. The obsession has not gone. I am so excited that I can finally play it, because before I was playing it on like my brother's game and my boyfriend's game, and I don't have access to either of those right now. So the Switch it is, and I'm just having the time of my life playing it, honestly. Okay, you guys, that was everything for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know how you're preparing for December and the holidays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!